Okay, so I'm just going to give a warning out there first. Mom, do not watch this, please. I don't want my mom to watch this.
No.
That would not be good. Okay, so the other day, Mom, if you're still listening, I told you to shut this off. Okay, anyways, so the other day, we were in the bedroom, and we had just finished making love, and I asked you a question.
Mm-hmm.
And it really got me thinking, and we really got into a discussion on things. And we're like, wow, this is a great topic to talk about on one of our videos. So he's kind of nervous. The red in his face is actually from his shirt. It's not because he's red.
It's a reflection.
It's a reflection. So the other day, we're going to get totally personal in this video, just as a warning. So the other day, after we were done making love, we started talking about orgasms and orgasms for women because, it's so much harder for women to have an orgasm. And I know a lot of women just don't have orgasm very often, which I'm sorry, that sucks.
I don't have that problem.
You don't have that problem. I normally don't either with you. But the other day, I just wasn't able to have one for some reason. And so afterwards, I was like, honey, does it make you feel like maybe I wasn't enjoying it, or maybe I wasn't there mentally or whatever? Like, how does that make you feel when I'm not able to have an orgasm? And I really was expecting you to say, well, it's like you're not there. Maybe you're not enjoying it, or whatever the case is, And so what was your response when I asked you that?
I don't remember the response, but I'll respond. I feel that, that I have certain desires that I want to take place, and one of those is to please you and make you happy. So there's part of me that's like a small part where it's like I didn't do my job, mm-hmm. because I want that to take place, and I want that to happen. But the most part of me is like, it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not any big deal, and it's no fault of anybody's, and sometimes it just happens. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you remember what I said?
For the most part, it was exactly that.
Okay.
But there was one thing that you said that I'm like, we're so talking about this. And that's to fake it or not.
Yes.
And remember, you were like, I would rather you not have one than you fake one.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because, as a man, you do want to, you do want to please. And so for a woman to fake that you are, just so you can feel like you did a good job or whatever, just seems wrong to me. Yeah. I would just rather be, you know what, I guess it didn't happen this time. We'll try again next time.
And we did, and it was great.
So, yeah, that's kind of my thought on that.
Well, and I know so many women are just like, okay, I'm just not having one. It's not happening for me, so I'm going to fake it. I have never done that with you. It's rare that happens, but I've just never found the need to do that.
Yeah.
Just because our communication is so good, and it's not you, and there's nothing wrong, and it was still enjoyable. But in my mind, there's just no need to ever fake it.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of couples, and I'm not knocking toys or anything, I'm just saying from, my perspective, is that it takes away from the man's work, because he should be the one to make you feel that way. And if you have to use a toy to feel that way, then the man's not doing his job. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes where the woman relies upon that toy to achieve that climax because the man can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I agree. We're very conservative, and so it's just not something that we need or want. But there are a lot of people out there that for the woman, they have to have that in order to have an orgasm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if it's insecurity, but it's hard for a man to compete with a toy.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it's like there's never a time when it's not going to happen with a toy.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So I agree. People are going to disagree, and that's fine.
That is fine.
But
if it works for you.
Yes. Okay, so as we've talked about in the past, in past videos, we've talked about having at-home dates because of where we live. And so one day I had come across this podcast, and I love listening to podcasts, as do you. And this one is all about marriage and relationships. And they talk a lot about sex. Like every single podcast, I would guess half to 3/4 is about sex. But it's not in a dirty way.
Right.
It's very clean, very, very clean, So, yeah. Anyway, so one of the podcasts that I listened to, they were saying that they had this list of 19 or 20 questions to ask your partner. And so for our date night, one night, we're sitting in the bedroom, and I'm like, honey, I got a couple questions for you. And so we'll in the comments, we'll put a link to these questions because they were really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, honey, let's just sit down. Let's go through these questions and see what we can learn about each other. A couple of them were, how can we create romance throughout the day in an anticipation for sex that night?
Yeah.
And so we just sat there, and I answered the question, and he answered the question.
My mind goes back to what you said. Remember the creating anticipation?
Uh-huh.
Where, you know what, baby, it was like Monday or something, I forget. We'll schedule sex for Friday night. I'm trying to build up anticipation.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Right?
Can we not do that? That didn't sound like a good idea
and
at
I
all.
didn't say that. But we were, in joking.
Yes.
Because, in one of the podcasts I listened to, they're like, let's build anticipation. So do everything you can up until the point of like having sex, and then stop. And do that for the next couple days.
I'm like, who came up with this? This is bullshit.
Yeah. And we're sitting here, we're looking at each other, and we lead such busy lives. There's so much frustration in life. Why have sex become something that's a frustration? Because I'm sorry, if we go for 3 days like teasing each other and not sorry, like that's going to build frustration over, a period of time.
Yeah.
Why do that with your sex life? Like, I mean, maybe there's a point to it. I just don't see it, But like these questions, they really got us thinking. And, I learned stuff about you. You learned stuff about me. It got very detailed. I'm asking about positions you want to be in or you want to try.
I think one of the greatest things about that was like setting boundaries and limits. What you like and what you don't like and what you'll do and not do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's really important for a relationship because there's boundaries and there's communication.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and through these questions, it really got us communicating. It had questions that we never even thought to ask one another. Something that may not have come up, and we're like, that's a good idea. Or, no, don't think so. So, it's just going to help build the communication, with your love life. But you just need to have that communication going.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I remember them doing a sex challenge. And that was something they did for like 30, 60 days or something.
Yeah, so they have a couple, and I've heard this not just on this podcast, but on other podcasts as well, where they'll have like a 7 days of sex challenge. And you have to have sex every single day. totally get why you're doing it. You're trying to, bring back the romance and connect, on a higher level than you can normally. Oh, excuse me. And so sorry. So, I can see the 7 days of sex challenge. It's 7 days, and you can do that. But then they have like a 30 days of sex challenge, 60 days. We're very active, more so than most people.
Yes.
If
I'm hyperactive.
if most people,
because she's hyperactive.
Okay, put the blame on me.
It's her fault.
Well, if you were so hot and sexy, so it's your fault.
Okay.
But honestly, if most people knew how often, men would look at you and be like, "Damn, for real, you're freaking lucky." But as often as we make love, there's still times that it just doesn't happen for us, and that's Tuesday night and Wednesday mornings, because you leave for work at 1 o'clock and you don't get home until 11:30 at night, so you're super tired, and then you have to be up and out of the house at 7 in the morning, and then you get home at what time do you get home on Wednesdays?
About 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6. So Wednesday night, you're dead to the world. You are so tired.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't happen. And if we were
we make up for it though.
Trust me. We make up for it. But, there's just no way it can happen on Wednesdays. And so for us, if we were to do one of these challenges, we would come to Wednesday and be like,
be a burden.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I think a lot of people view marriage advice as a burden.
Yeah.
To get some good advice, and it's something that, that they have to do. But I can imagine trying to have sex straight for 30 days or 60 days. Yeah. It'd become a chore.
It would be. And that's coming from people who are very, very active.
Mm-hmm.
If...
I want to be active when I want to be active, okay?
Yeah, if we want 4 times a day, we want 4 times a day.
Right.
If we want every other day, that's what we want. Yes. I think maybe if couples are lacking in their physical relationship, maybe it could help them. But I think once you hit 30 and 60 days, there's just times you just don't want to have sex. And so I think it just puts an additional pressure on you. Oh my gosh, it's 11:30 at night. We've not had sex today. Let's quickly get it in. And it ends up being just a chore.
Yeah.
So...
What do you think is the norm for people? Because obviously we're not normal, right?
Yeah, we're not normal, honey.
We're abnormal?
I think we're abnormal. I would guess, just from all the people I've talked to about relationships and all my friends, I would guess once a week.
Once a week?
That would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, looking back at,
That's 52 times a year.
We get that in a month. I love you. I don't think we're that much, but yeah.
Oh,
so
cute.
I know. I got you on that one, huh?
Yes.
The reflection is from his shirt. His face really isn't that red.
Yeah, it really isn't.
But and I get it. I've been there. With my ex, if I could go 3 months without, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
For me, sex became a chore. It was something I had to do, because if I didn't, he became so mean, and I'm like, go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to. And so I would go long periods of time without. But when I would have sex, and that's all it was. It wasn't lovemaking. It was sex. And it was a duty. So, did you ever experience that with your ex, where it was a duty, something you had to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say
at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. and it would be few and far between, just the same.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. I get why people, and people have busy lives. They might not have as high of a sex drive as we do. But I would guess the average is maybe once a week for people. And I think it's something that's scheduled. I don't think it's really, there's no spontaneity to it. I think it's just like a chore.
Yeah.
Friday night, date night, gotta have sex. Are we done yet? And that's sad.
Checking the watch. I would imagine in that situation that that the person who's obligated is not present there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would imagine this is where daydreaming comes in, and your thoughts are somewhere else, and maybe you're picturing the Rock on top of you. I don't know.
Are you giving away my old secrets? Yeah, he knows me pretty well. But I agree. You're not there. You don't want to do it.
Right.
So, but how do you go from that once a week mentality, I have to do it, to like what we have? And I mean, granted, most people probably won't be like us, but how do you change that? Even if you just stuck with once a week, how do you go from Friday night, gotta do it, to it's almost Friday night, and like there's excitement there, and you want to be present?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really comes down to gratitude and being recognizing and appreciating what you have. But not only that, is finding the strengths in your mate and admiring those strengths, because that admiration that you have for the other person is what builds the intimacy. Now, if all you see is their weaknesses, there's going to be no admiration there, and you're not going to really like them, and you're going to be a tad bit disgusted of them. And so I think first is the same page, gratefulness, recognizing their positive attributes, admiring them, and cultivate this admiration for each other.
I like that. And going along with it, if you're in that mentality of it's Friday night, don't want to be here, don't want to be doing this, maybe you need to start outside of the bedroom. Just take make a mental list or something of what's wrong, what's going on, and have a conversation with the two of you. Like, where are we at with our relationship? What can you change individually? On both sides, not just one or the other, but what can you both change individually and then as a relationship? And I've heard that there's monthly calendars out there for people who are struggling in their relationship. And it's there's several different ones I've seen, but it's every single day of the month, there's something there to help build your relationship. And it's not even in the bedroom. It's make cookies together, go for a walk, do the dishes together. And it's just getting the two of you back together and wanting to be together.
Yeah.
And I think as you do that, it builds your relationship. And as your relationship builds, you're going to just naturally want to be together in the bedroom.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with us doing activities together, like this, like we built our bedroom set, like we made these craft pumpkins, these activities where you do together. Be willing to find an activity that you can both do together without killing each other.
That's key. You don't want to kill each other while doing it.
But you might get this recommendation, just like our mission statement, where you're thinking this is a terrible idea, where you start out arguing in the project or whatever it is, but you reach a win-win and a compromise, and then things go smoothly. So, people avoid these things because they don't want to go through the conflict a little bit.
And talking about, us building our bedroom set. So we had this really cool wood, and we were able to make, a bed frame, and we've made nightstands. And when we get our own home, we still have wood left, so it'll still be matching, but we're going to build a dresser.
Yes.
We started off with a nightstand, And on the first piece of wood that you were sanding, I'm like, oh, heaven help me. Because you're just like, sand, done.
Yeah.
Me, I'm
Attention
like,
to detail is not my quality.
well, and you're so good at building stuff. Like, I love our bed frame. Like, it is so amazing. But for you, you're just like, I'm just going to sand it super quick and be done.
Yes.
Where for me, I'm like, I don't want to touch it and get 10 slivers, you know?
Yeah.
So, like,
so she's the refiner in the relationship?
well, and, I would get frustrated. I'm like, honey, sand it somewhere, please. And you wouldn't. And so rather than letting it bug me, because I'm kind of a perfectionist at times, I like things my way. I'm a little bit of a control freak, just a little bit. And if you say a lot, I'm going to like, But
just a little bit.
yeah, you got to go the right direction on the camera. But so rather than me get frustrated with you, rather than me not be happy or just sit back, like in our mission statement, rather than just sit back and give in, I'm like, you know what, honey? I'm not good at cutting the wood. That should be your job. It should be your job to nail it together or screw it together. And so what I did was I was like, I'll do the sanding. And so we each had our own tasks. And so everything we've built, I've done the sanding. So I'm getting it the way I want it. We're still working together. I'm not frustrated with you.
Yes.
And we just worked as a team.
Yes. One thing I think we don't understand, especially in business and in life, is the other person that you're connected with, should complement your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And so, I have this mentality, quick, fast, get it done. And this is where quality goes out the window. And I'm working in construction, you do piecework. So you just knock it out and you come back and fix the stuff later.
Yeah.
So that's my mentality with a lot of stuff. I just get it done.
Yeah.
But then, like reports, if I go through it, then it needs a lot of correcting. You know what I mean? And so it is with life. And just be comfortable with, who you are and what your mate complementing your weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. And we work together really good. He does the parts that he has his strengths in, and I do, what I have my strengths in. Because typically where you're strong, I'm weak. And where I'm strong, you're weak. So we just complement each other.
Yeah.
So if you can do stuff like that.
I think it would help in the intimacy department.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're already spending this time together, you're going to want to spend that time together.
Yes. And I'll tell you, watching him like sawing wood and hammering. Oh, yeah. Like, watching that, I can't tell you how many pictures I have. When we built the girls' bunk bed, like, I literally, when we were at Home Depot buying the wood, I have pictures of his ass. For real. True story.
She does.
I do. The kids are kind of disgusted because, I have an iPhone and we have a Mac and my pictures, connect with the computer. So the screensaver goes and all of a sudden there's pictures of Tim's ass. Kids are like, Mom, again?
You took a picture of Tim's butt again.
Right?
Please stop, Mother.
I'm like, no, that's okay. But, like, for me, in doing those physical activities with you, building stuff, and, like, for me, it's a huge turn on, because I'm like, those muscles, like, it's a turn on. And so you never know. You might do some sort of a chore with, or not a chore, but a project with your spouse. You never know where it'll lead you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you touched on the admiration department.
Yeah.
Yeah. You truly think about today, think about your partner, their strengths, everything that they're good at, and their good qualities, and begin to find deep admiration for those things. And I'm not talking about this mental exercise where you just put a list and stuff, and yeah, that's nice. But really internalize it, really think about it, and really be grateful for their positive attributes. I think it can do nothing but good.
I agree. If you're just focused on their negative aspects or your negative aspects, that's all you're going to view. You're not going to see them as this amazing person who can can do great things.
Who you want to get down and dirty with?
Naked time.
Naked time.
Okay, so just kind of wrapping this up where I started. Mom, if you listen to this,
Shame on you.
yeah, shame on you. I told you not to. But if you did, I am like so sorry. And I don't know next time.
Your mom's going to hate me.
Yeah, she might. But that's okay because she already loves you.
Okay.
So, but like, I'm sorry, Mom. But we had to go there. It's all about relationships with us.
Yes.